It's time to dad.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Time to Dad. It's been a little bit of a hot minute since we've done an episode. We've just, I feel like I tell you guys this every time we have a little bit of a gap, but it's dad life, man. Everybody's got a little bit of everything going on, man. Everybody's a little tired. Trying to make time for family, trying to keep a little personal time for ourselves, and then trying to find time to record. It's not always the easiest thing to coordinate all those things. We'll get to that a little later in the episode, I guess. But I don't. Summer's coming up, and I'm feeling kind of nostalgic. I don't know if I feel like kids these days aren't having the same summers we have, aren't living the same lives. There's a lot of stuff that we have grown up doing and things that we did when we were kids and younger and stupid teenagers that I feel like kids are just missing it, man. And it doesn't feel the same when I'm looking at my son growing up and what he can and can't do. It hurts my soul a little bit, I guess.
Yep. Well, shit. As far as almost summer, dude, it's here in fucking Texas. It's summertime.
It's already swamp ass season.
yeah, I was sweating like a nervous whore in church earlier, bro. It was rough.
But I don't know. So, well, then let's talk about the pastime. Then, what were you guys doing as kids and teenagers in fun summertime stuff when it stays a little lighter longer? What were you guys doing that kids these days just can't do? Whether it be the neighborhood you live in, whether it just be society norms. What do you guys miss that you wish your kids could still do?
I wish kids could play, like back in the day, dude, kids could play in the fucking street unbothered. At least I did. And,
I think that would depend on the street overall. I mean, if the cars are there,
obviously.
If it's a main street, you go 50 years back, there still shouldn't be playing in the street. That's dangerous.
I mean, what I'm saying, bro.
I can't. That's what I was going to say too.
Kids riding bikes, and you don't see that shit no more. It's like, man, everywhere I used to go, I could see kid riding a bike.
Bro, I don't think my parents even knew when I was younger. I don't think they were quite aware of how far me and my motley crew of assholes were riding bikes, dude. I mean, we were like miles and miles away from home, just doing shit, man. And we weren't getting into trouble. We weren't out.
At least,
we weren't out doorbell ditching people, but. Dude, if I found out today, if Emerson was old enough to be doing something like that and he was way the fuck across town, I would lose my gourd, dude. I just don't trust people, man. I think we talked about this on another episode, JT, where we kind of, your kid meets somebody new and wants to go over to the house and play with them. Whether it may even be a neighbor right down the street, but there's some formalities, right? Like you want to meet that kid's parents. You want to see, make sure it's a safe place for your kid to be. And I feel like parents just you didn't have to do that when we were growing up.
No, no. And my mom, she never let me go over to anybody's house unless she knew unless she had met the parents.
Yeah.
And even so, she would actually develop a friendship with said parents just to keep things on the up and up.
Yeah.
And I mean I'm at a disadvantage because I don't like fucking people. I don't like people. I mean
I'm the same way, man.
People is probably my least favorite thing to do.
We talked about that too, dude. Like my wife and I aren't mean people. We're not non-sociable people. It's just the fucking people around us, man, are not our goddamn people. Like, there's a few people in the neighborhood that we get along with, but our tolerance level for just stupidity and bullshit is really low. So as soon as we catch a whiff of it, it's just like, oh fuck, like time to pivot, go talk to somebody else, kind of thing.
Yeah, I and I'm not going to sit here and say it's a great quality, but I judge parents harshly.
I mean, everybody does.
If I hear or see something that I couldn't fathom a kid doing, but he says, "Oh, my parents let me," I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Mm.
And then in that moment, my kid ain't gonna fucking be caught dead with him, And
yeah, no, I get it. What you got, Jason?
That kid sounds like a liar, but I'll start with that. But I a couple things I definitely reminisce. And I don't really think about it unless it's brought up. But when I was a kid, at least the first house I lived in, and my parents, they didn't even move out of the town. We had 2 houses in the same town, so that it's not like we made some big drastic move. But the first house, there were kids in the neighborhood, some of whom I could still talk to this day. Like I have their phone number, or I could message them on Facebook, like that lifelong friends and kids in the neighborhood kind of thing.
Yeah.
Getting in just enough trouble or no trouble where it's like you're just kids going outside.
It was safe trouble though, right?
Yeah. I can remember having a concept of trouble, like if I went too far or went in the neighborhood on the other side of the wooded area, and I didn't tell my mom I was doing that. Like I remember getting in some big trouble for that. And actually, the funny part about that is what JT is saying. So that was the first time I experienced, I guess, what you would call like a little shithead kid who wasn't like respectful. So like straight up, like this kid, I went and played at his house, played video games or whatever we did, and I went back kind of late, and my mom didn't know where I was, so she's yelling for me, and she sees the other kids that I'm usually with, and I'm I'm hanging out with a different kid in the next neighborhood over. So when I finally come back, she's like very upset, like losing it on me. Like, you can't do that. You got to tell me if you're going to go that far away. Like, I didn't know where you were. I'm calling the people around the neighborhood, a little overprotective, but still. And this kid is just like, he's like, you can't talk to him like that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Get out of here. Like, go away.
Dude,
no, you're only making it worse.
Man, I was gone though from like whenever I woke up and had breakfast on the weekends till probably about dinner time when I could hear mom fucking yelling like, it's time to get the fuck home. I was just gone all day. I don't think my parents my parents didn't, I won't say they didn't give a shit, but I think society was just different back then, man. You were taught street smarts, and I think that's a huge thing that we have that the younger generation is not being taught, is just street smarts in general, like shit to look out for. And I mean, we talked to our daughter about that because she's a lot older. And JT and I were talking about that while we were waiting on you, Jason. And but I don't think it sinks in that, street smarts. It's just not there with this generation. And
there's a reason that's not the case, because people feel entitled. That with us it was go out there, do what you can, and keep your ass out of trouble. And
but you still did stupid shit and got in trouble, or shit you would get in trouble for if people had fucking ring cams on every house like they do now.
I don't know if I see it that same, but I want JT to finish his thought on that. But
no, I just I don't know, man. It's like nowadays kids are more apt to go and do, like, if they do leave the fucking house and put the video game controller down or get off their they think they can just be fucking assholes, and they're entitled to be treated like, get away. They don't face consequences. Shit, it was when we knew it. We knew if we fucking did some dumb shit and got caught, we were going home. fucked up.
Yeah, you're
But
gonna
nowadays,
get the
there's no
ass
fucking
beat.
consequence.
Yeah,
But there's no consequence. Assuming you can get them off the phone or off the video game long enough to go outside, they're out there doing dumb shit.
dude, that's our thing. Like, when Emerson wants to go outside, I make it a priority to make sure that can happen because he's gotten to where he likes his tablet or he wants to watch streamers on YouTube and shit, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah. Well, Jasper fortunately has never looked at a screen unless he's doing like a video call with his grandparents, out of state or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Well, good for you. I hope you can keep that up.
I told my wife from the get-go, I said I will always rather fight my son to get him inside to get him back in rather than fight with him to get him to go outside.
Yeah.
So, but
I feel that.
Yeah,
I think there's something of a socioeconomic point to be made with this stuff. I think, obviously, yeah, you could say parents are softer. There's not consequences, and so the kids are more prickish. But there's other reasons for that. I think I was just thinking about it economically. Like, so in the 90s, my parents, they didn't even make $100,000 combined, in most cases. And they were comfortable, middle class, had a house with a nice neighborhood in an expensive town not expensive, but in like a hot upper middle class town in Massachusetts. Like, none of that is remotely possible anymore. So I would say the vast majority of kids, for whatever, even if you want to break it down geographically, you're going to get, the idiocracy thing. Like, dumb people and poor people are going to have more kids than people that are smart apparently and don't want children. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of these kids don't have an opportunity to do. They have an opportunity to do bad things. They don't have an opportunity to go outside and play because where they live, that's not a realistic thing anymore. Like, it's not a nice area. It's an apartment. I live in an apartment. Some of that is the economy. Honestly, I think the kids are going to suffer from a lack of opportunity because a lot of people don't have the money to buy a house with a yard or a neighborhood or anything. Like, that's just not the American dream. Is for
if they stop building fucking townhomes everywhere, they would.
Well, and in all fairness, yeah, I'll grant that. But at the same time, that's when it should fall on the parents to go sit their ass outside with their kid.
Yeah. Yeah. But, are you going to sit on the corner with between the crack whore and the broken glass? I'm sure that's possible in some situations, but not a lot of kids are brought up very impoverished. They ain't going outside.
Yeah, I was going to say
unless you're looking for a bad thing.
That's a perk of where we live.
That was also a time when people used to police their own neighborhoods and actually give it to it. Like, if we're being real, man, the society from the top down has diminished, whether it be socioeconomically or not. It just if we're talking about society as a whole, people, the quality of people has diminished. Common sense is not what it used to be. Nope. Like I said, people used to police their own neighborhoods. Now they're fucking assholes for actually giving a shit what goes down in their neighborhood. So, and people get looked at, and yeah, I like a lot of the shit you see nowadays. It seems a little bit silly, like on Facebook and shit like that, where you see somebody getting riled up about something. But people don't do that shit no more. People don't look out for their neighbors. They don't fucking, nowadays, if some shit happens, people just fucking report it. They don't look out for the neighbors.
JT, Massachusetts actually pales in comparison to like New York or Chicago or California. But man, I'm about 45 minutes from a little town we like to call West Roxbury. And the police can't police things in that town. So the people ain't policing shit. Like, it's bad. You got a lot of drug, crime, gun activity where these places are policed by gangs. That's legitimately a city life. You don't go there. You just straight up, you don't go there, and your kids know They might not have street smarts, but that's where the term street smarts comes from. You don't fucking go on that side of the street ever. You know, like that's some real shit.
And I get that. But I also grew up.
And I didn't grow up in the city, but you know what I mean.
Well, in my hometown, I grew up literally in the fucking ghetto. I was one of two white families in a fucking ghetto. It was so much the ghetto, they wound up changing the street name to fucking Martin Luther King Street. And so, I mean, I get it, man, but I mean, you kids don't have imagination anymore.
No, they don't.
I mean, fuck, I could keep my ass away from people that, you know, that could cause trouble, because I had a little tract of woods next to me, and I'd go out and play in this fucking gully and build forts and clubhouses and stay away from all the dumb shit across the street. Yeah, I mean,
but they play guns in Roxbury.
Yeah, that's frowned upon nowadays.
Look, I'm not sitting here saying that every situation is ideal. I'm not sitting there saying that. I'm not trying to compare my situation to another, but a lot of it just depends on the adults around, you know, involving the kids. I mean, fuck, if you're worried about your kid getting into something, or you know, you're worried about sitting between the whore and the crackhead next door or something like that, fucking take them, find a park, take them to it, you know, do something.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of it is just boils down to lazy parenting, and I get that people have lives and everything like that, but I mean, if we're being fair, I mean, just since I've started this job, I've turned down a lot of fucking overtime just so I could spend it with my kid, my wife.
I do recall, and you know, this is something that I just thought of with the neighborhood and the knock on the door kid, like the kid that knocks and said, "Hey, can Jay come out and play?" And I can very like vividly remember my mom in different circumstances being like, "No, he can't," like kicking him out, like he's in trouble or this or that. But I just remember I remember that knock on the door, and sometimes I'd be like, I don't know, I'm tired of that kid. Just tell him I'm in trouble,
yeah,
you know, or whatever. But I don't. That's not happening. Like I don't have people knocking on my door for my kids to come out and play. Like, but it honestly, I regret a little bit. You know, it wasn't my fault. I had no options in terms of well, I guess my option would have been to not get divorced, but that was not an option. But like my house, it had the neighborhood, and I feel like that could have been, you know, something that there were kids ish. There were kids around my kids' age, and the kids in the neighborhood did, you know, trick or treating and stuff. So yeah. I probably robbed them of that a bit. But they're pretty resilient. I think they'll figure it out. And I do take my kids to the park, and we have indoor basketball here. I mean, we're not living in squalor, but like, you know, I get them out and stuff. But with other kids, I don't know, maybe not as much as they play. Usually they're little, but they play with me or like a friend's kid or something.
Great. And that's great. But I'm just talking about in a general sense. You know, kids not going outside and this and that. And much of that boils down to lazy parents. And you know, we can all, guys, you and I both know that we can count on both hands how many excuses we can make up to avoid getting outside and doing shit with our kid.
Yeah.
I think lazy parents, and I'll leave it at this, and I'll let you guys, just because I probably talk too much on it, but I think lazy parents, you could loop that right back to the economic thing I just brought up. It's not necessarily, it's parents working double shifts. It's parents that literally can't be home, or otherwise there'd be no home for the kid to live there. Like, I think there's some of that. I think it's multifactorial, but I think economics comes into the play. Like, yeah, it is lazy parents. It is parents on their phones, of course, but it's also the other side of the coin where people, they can't even fucking survive. Like, they don't see their kids. They don't live their life. They barely see their house or their apartment that they do a dad podcast on. You know, they're busy.
I get it. My mom, she busted her ass to take care of me and my son growing up. I get it, but at some point you got to wonder when it's starting to be a cop out. You know, like I mean, it just really depends on how much you want to be involved with your kid, or do you know where your kid is at? Do you know what websites they're getting on? Do you know what I'm saying? Much of that just depends on the parent. And I get we can't be with our kids every second of the day. I get that, but at the same time, it's like if you're involved enough and you're trying to get them to use their imagination. Get out there a few times, make them, incentivize them to do it. But I mean, I can make up excuses as to why I don't want to go outside. Maybe it's too fucking hot, and my fat hairy ass don't want to go sit out there and sweat like a whore in church. Or, I could be out here cleaning my shop, or just anything. I can make up any reason as to why I shouldn't be out here playing with my kid. And so, dude, I'm not living high up on the hog, man. But between my wife and I both, we might make $56,000 a year. I mean that whore thinks you're living a little high and mighty. She just wanted to go to church, and you brought her up like 2-3 times now. She's just trying to go to church. Leave her alone. Like, why you got to bring it up? She's sweating. She's just trying to go to church, man. She's repenting, and you just keep bringing it up, whore in church. Fuck that poor whore.
Got to make better. Got to make better decisions.
Yeah, but no, man.
Sometimes you got to be a whore in church.
I miss being a kid, man. I miss being a kid, and I can't wait till Jasper's old enough to where I can encourage him to fucking want to go play out in the woods, and and I also have to kind of reel back. I'm a bit of a helicopter dad in that sense because, I already lost one kid. So I probably act a little bit overbearing with my kid at times. I don't want him to get hurt, obviously, but then at the same time, like, I have to back off a little bit and let him just be a kid. Mm. So I just don't trust people. That's my biggest deal. You never know. You never know who's a fucking asshole and who'll do dumb shit.
I feel you.
I felt that way with like you say, I feel productive if they run, especially now, because it actually is very dangerous where I live with the cars flying on the road. But it's very hard for me to trust them to they can't really make a decision at that age, but I know as they get older, letting them get further and further away from me or run or be at I don't like that. So I'm probably a little bit hoverish with that, the safety part of it, but and that's part of it too. It's not as safe of a world, so we're going to be more protective. So that probably goes back to what Nick was saying at the beginning of the show. It's like what changes about the kind of dads we are and the kind of kids we're going to raise based on it's not the computer boom 90s where everybody's living it up at $40,000 a year. It's just buying houses for $90,000, whatever, like mansion, what I'm saying, and I'm sure in Texas or Virginia it was even cheaper than that when we were kids. Like the houses, it's unbelievable the hyperinflation of how much things cost. Like it's actually unbelievable how much things cost. But and I think yeah,
it's a blessing and a curse, and I always err on the side that it's more a curse. I mean, in situations like this where we can be thousands of miles away and fucking bullshit with one another, that's fucking awesome. I'm able to do stuff. I'm able to let my son see his grandparents where normally, if it were back in our day, grandparents that live out of state, every time they come around, they're fucking strangers, So I love, but technology fucked us, man.
Yeah. Did it?
Yeah. It's just,
technology. Can we be reminiscent though, 90s wise, and just compare what technology meant to us? Because it's so bizarre when you think about phones with cords, one phone line for the whole house, like AIM
Yeah.
away messages,
AOL,
and, like,
AOL free trial.
yeah, like Blockbuster, VHS, like I loved VHS days because that was the movies to me. Like I was gonna go to the movies if I had a my mom would take me on Fridays. I'd get that VHS, that Rugrats, had the orange. Yeah, that's fucking great marketing. But man, that stuff was so cool. I think the coolness, the exponential craziness of the coolness where technology has gone from then to now leaves our kids in a position where they can't even possibly relate the joy that we got out of a stupid fucking square piece of plastic that we were just going to put in the VCR.
It's a rectangle.
Watch on a shitty screen. What shitty screen?
With us, it was new. It was a discovery. You know what I'm saying? Like with us,
yeah, we
just,
grew up with the technology growing beside us. It wasn't just there.
That's so true. It's very true. I've thought about that too.
It's already there. Here, it's just, okay, well, one day the kid grows up, they just get a cell phone, they have unrestricted access to the internet. For us, like, it had to be a full-on fucking thing to get on the internet. You had to make sure mom or whoever got all the fucking phone calls out of the way.
You just do that shit while they're on the phone, man, and then you get fucking yelled at.
Yeah, but I mean, y'all get what I'm saying? Like, it was a thing. Like it. There had to be planning that went into us being able to do shit like that. Like and fucking, back in the day, mixtapes were a fucking thing, bro. If you made a mixtape for somebody, there was some fucking thought put into that shit. Nowadays,
Summer Jams 2004,
right? And then fucking burning CDs and shit like that. Nowadays, I'm finding kids that don't even know what the fuck a CD is.
That's very true.
CDs were a misstep. Can we just go there? I'd much rather a tape is so much more durable than a CD. What were we doing?
But you couldn't put as much on it, and it took so much more time to put shit on it.
Yeah, but it would get scratched. It would get scratched so easy, and then it was fucked. It's the dumbest idea we've ever had. You
gotta take better care of your shit, is what I'm hearing.
No, people don't take care of their shit.
I had binders full of CDs.
Multiple binders. Dude, I just had stacks on stacks of shit.
The design was not good.
I loved the rewritable CD-ROMs.
Yeah.
That you could just fucking
that's cool.
80 MP3s on one fucking disc. Like, if you knew how to do that, you were hot shit, bro. And you
Napster?
could go
Napster and LimeWire?
Yeah, man. We were selling discs. I mean, we were fucking pirates before we even knew what the fuck a pirate was.
It's very true.
Kazaa.
Kazaa. Oh, man.
Napster. Fucking, what's the band that fucking fucked everything with that took Napster?
It was Metallica, yeah.
Yeah, Metallica fucking ruined it for everybody. Nah, it was the viruses too. The viruses, because there's no protection for the internet at that time. Oh my god.
Bro, and don't tell me y'all didn't at least once accidentally download a fucking snuff film.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there was a lot of that snuck in on.
My dad would do that, and then we'd have,
and then blame it on you.
Guy would come by. Yeah. Well, whatever. I think we both had an understanding that it's it could have been you and it could have been me. So my dad's just all right, I'm going to call the computer guy. My mom's like, what the fuck's going on? What is this shit on my computer? Because she'd go to sign in, and you just have the pop-ups of smut coming at her, just opening the internet. And she's just like,
I'm not talking about the straight smut. I'm talking about snuff film. Fucking people just getting their brains
I didn't say you. I don't know what songs you were downloading. No. I didn't see any of that.
No, I wasn't blowing brains out, but I was blowing with But I was a kid, man. I was a kid enjoying the films, the crappy films. Think about how bad. Think about how bad that we were just watching this fuzziness. We'd watch like pay-per-view and it was scrambled. And we're just like, wow, it's like for a
Oh,
wrestling
that was
event.
what would that had it? It was the Spice Channel. Yeah.
Playboy channel.
Yeah.
The pixel. You remember how long it used
Oh
to
my
take?
God!
for
And then
Cal,
then it would be a big old dick on the screen.
And then,
After you wait all that time, it'd be nothing but
like,
Frank
all
and
of a sudden-
beans. Yep.
Oh, I forgot about. They were right. Yeah, if you were waiting for the pictures to download the porn pictures, yeah, that's right.
and then like nobody show up for like fucking ever, and then all of a sudden somebody walks up behind you as soon as the image fucking loads, and like, what the fuck is that?
Yep. Good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I mean, and then like fucking for I don't know, for kids of our age group, like rite of passage was like Playboys somewhere, shit like
Playboy.
that. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like,
Those are
What's a
rookie
Playboy?
numbers. You got to pump those numbers up. Mhm.
But I think we just had more recognition of the cool thing that was coming out. I don't think my kids don't get like things are coming at them so fast with so much that they're not even like phased by like virtual reality headset or something. Like they don't even care. It's like, yeah, it's another thing, a phone, a game.
Well,
They're just like,
you also so technology for us when we were younger was a lot more accessible to a lot more people. Not every family can go out and buy a virtual reality headset or a $700 fucking gaming console or gaming PC. Everything's just exponentially more expensive to use nowadays.
I don't know, bro. I don't
You
know,
gotta
man.
have a
If
subscription to play it.
Well, yeah, there's that. That's fucking stupid. But I remember back in the day, man. Like, if you had a computer in your home, you fucking had money. You know what I'm saying?
Like
Like back
that,
in the
man.
day,
Our computer was a piece of poo poo.
my first computer was a fucking
and the
Commodore,
big
man.
speakers. It was like
Yeah.
this big box, and it had the speakers that like stuck to the side of the box. And you'll see them, and I see them in like, I mean, I probably shouldn't even admit this. I'll probably get in trouble. So there's like storage units at the bottom of my building, but the top of them is literally like, I mean, you can't like steal anything. They put like the chicken wire, but if you want to stand up high enough, you could pretty much look in and see what everybody has in their storage units, because it's just like a mesh fence going to the ceiling. And I'll look in there, you just see people's hoards, like these computers from the 90s. Like, what would possess you to keep that? Why?
Dude, I have a buddy at work that collects like all the older vintage computers.
Well, that's the only
Keyboards,
thing you
mice.
could do if you were going to do something artistic. That's actually
Well, it's
probably
not
what I would-
artistic because it ends up exactly where you just said it was, in a fucking storage unit. It's not.
Exactly.
Well, some people do make like I've always kind of wanted to take like a really old TV and make like a little like a Christmas time like shadow box out of it, and have that as like a decoration. I think that would be cool. Or even, like, what I'm saying, like the really old is just if you cleared out all the electronics and you put something in it and made it like a decorative piece.
Yeah,
for
he ain't
display.
doing that.
That's what I'm saying. Nah, but that would be the only thing I would say. Okay, if you want to make like 90s art out of these pieces of shit, old computers are all brown, just like covered in tobacco.
Yeah. Well,
You're
so
not wrong.
I got a question, guys. All right, so we're nearing that time of year where everybody's trying to like prepare for fucking vacations and fucking, offering like overtime, at work or whatever. Like, how are y'all dealing with burnout? Are y'all feeling it yet?
Always.
Only for the last like 10 years straight. But before that,
And
no,
I
it
just
was
told
good.
you my schedule. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a 5-day work week. Monday practice, Tuesday game, Wednesday game, Thursday I forgot about. We have orientation for the summer camp we signed him up for. Friday night he's got all-star practice, and then Saturday night is closing ceremony and playoffs for him. So it's dude, it's just like, and that's one fucking sport. There are parents in the same goddamn league whose kids do like soccer and baseball or soccer and basket. I don't know how the fuck you do that other than pissing me off by telling me your kid can only make it to every other fucking game. I don't know how you do that.
That's exactly how they do that.
That shit drives me nuts. And it's like parents just, I don't know if it's like parents just want their kids around kids constantly and they want them to socialize in these different groups, but it makes no fucking sense to me. I'm all about.
They want them to be good at sports.
Well, I'm all about multi-athlete kids. I grew up a multi-sport kid. I mean, I did wrestling, football, I did baseball, never played basketball. But I'm all about that. But like, do one in the fucking spring and one in the fall or one in the winter. I mean, you want to talk about burnout? Those kids got to be burnt the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, bro, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to land a really good schedule at work. But I don't know, man. I'm trying to, like, dude, I've quit door dashing. You know, obviously making a little bit more money, and it's nice being at home in the evenings with my wife and son. You know, but you know, just for the past 5 days, I've worked fucking 60 hours. And you know, I took today. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not dragging a little bit, but I do find it hard to get motivated to keep up with Jasper sometimes. So I mean, it's like, you know, the question is real. Like, how do y'all deal with your burn? Because I mean, you're obviously burnt out. So
you got to take a break, man.
Balance it, bro.
You got to take a break.
I think it's, to me, I learned something actually within the last like week or so of my life in a weird way. It just in the sense that, I mean, I had an epiphany because I haven't had a day off in like I went like 2 straight weeks. I didn't have a day off. Because my ex took the kids on a road trip, so I didn't have them for a whole weekend. So I just like straight out worked to try to sell as many cars the end of last month or whatever as I could. And I skipped a vacation a while back because I was having a bad month and needed the money. And, you know, I don't really get that much when I go on vacation because it's sales. So I worked straight out for a long time. And I had to go to a wedding on a Saturday, and my days off are Friday and Sunday. So I ended up giving myself 3 days off, which was weird. Like, I hadn't had 3 straight days off because I don't even get 2 straight days off, like in sales. But just I think if I had just sat at home for those 3 days, it would have been a different experience than. And obviously, I drove all the way down to like New Jersey, stayed at a hotel by myself or whatever, and you know, hung out with friends and went to the wedding, which was great, and the reception. And I was like involved with the wedding. It was a good friend of mine. But it felt, I think I had a feeling of travel, which I've read this, like just traveling anywhere. It's not the destination, it's the journey of the travel and just seeing a lot of things that are real that you're looking at all around you. They're not on a screen. Like, you really are looking at all these houses and all this land and the amazement of the planet and stuff. I think you get a respite and like a good, a real feeling of taking a break when you travel. And I think my parents were good about that. And I didn't even realize it. Like, they would at least take us on a 2-hour drive pretty much every weekend to go up to New Hampshire, to stay in campers and go on boats and, you know, have that, which they still do that themselves. They go to the lake, and that's what, I mean, if that's what they do. But, you know, but just the idea of sitting in that car, which I don't think I hated it at the time. I don't like long drives, but I do think, and then going, you know, we would take a family trip, like always have 1 or 2 and go to Disney or Florida or do the family, you know, just, you have to travel. You have to change that paradigm. I think that's good to rest your brain, reset it at least.
Well, so, I mean, aside from work, I mean, do y'all ever feel so burnt out? Y'all just want to be left the fuck alone? Like
all the time, and I get bitched at for it.
I feel bad for feeling this way sometimes, but like there are days when I come home from work, my wife, she wants to tell me about her day, but there are sometimes I wish she worked for like the NSA or for the FBI so she couldn't tell me about her fucking day. I just want to be left, I just
want my life.
I want some silence.
I get accused many times of just tuning out, and you get in that habit of just being like, yeah. And then you fucking miss some important piece of information and you get chewed out a couple weeks. I think that's just a dude thing in general. I mean, I know there's guys out there that are super tentative and always listening to what their wife has to say, but I feel like the majority are not that. I get called out for it all the time of not listening, and it sucks, but dude, like I understand when your brain's exploding and your wife's talking to you a mile a minute, you're just trying to, be in your own head and relax. That
we don't rest correctly.
Well, that's true. That's funny. I was going to say, when you mentioned, vacation gives you a break, my wife and I joke every year when we take our trip to the beach, because it's never feels like a fucking vacation when the kids are with us, and we got 3 boys running around the fucking house acting like little banshees. Vacation, it's not as relaxing as you think it should be.
Yeah, anytime I've been on a vacation, and I've not been on many, where there's just so many people, like, you want to bring your parents, you got, sisters, brothers.
Yeah.
Because you got to coordinate this and that.
Like a robot.
It's so funny. It's so fucking unenjoyable. But me, I mean, a weekend out at my place at the river, just being left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't feel bad for feeling that way sometimes, because I do. It's like I should be, doing this or doing that, or want to be doing this, but
I feel you.
The chaos of just surrounding yourself and doing stuff like that, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And then I've got now I'm supposed to be trying to work my ass off so we can go to fucking Ireland. And,
nice.
Well, yeah, it sounds nice, but it's not, because we're going
I don't know.
to go.
Ireland and Texas are pretty different places. Are you ready for that?
Well, no, I mean, me personally, I've never really had a desire to travel and see the world when there's so much in the U.S. that I've never seen. Right.
Yeah.
But, my baby brother-in-law, he's getting married, and they want to do a destination wedding in Ireland. And while it sounds cool, it just feels like being a part of the family seems like it's behind a paywall. But, and they're only talking about doing 3 fucking days. I'm sorry. I have no desire to load up my kid for like a 16 to 18 hour flight just to turn around 24 hours later and then fucking.
No, Ireland's not that bad.
Well,
Ireland
it doesn't sound
probably be like 8 hours.
Doesn't sound that appealing to me either. I mean, they're talking about fucking layovers and all this other shit. Dealing with my kid on a trip like that sounds it's exhausting.
Well, put them on the train. That's probably the trick in Europe. It's cheaper to take those fucking trains, and you see all the shit on the countryside that you've never been.
Yeah,
there's a little UK Ireland hack for you.
Yeah, I mean, if I've always told myself, if I go to a place like that, it's going to be because I want to go, not because I have to go. They've asked Jasper, they've asked us if Jasper could be a ring bearer. So now there's like a sense of obligation. And dude, I've looked it up. Just a fucking flight there in like fucking coach is going to be like $3,700. That's just the fucking flight.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah, and it just, and I find myself in a rock and a hard place, because I have plenty of other things I'd rather be saving for, you know. And I mean, I don't want to let my wife down. You know, it's pretty important to her. She's always been close to her brothers. But I don't know, man. That right there has me burnt out just the thought of it, because it's only a year away.
Yeah.
And, you know, we still got Christmas to save for, all this other shit. So I just find even just thinking about shit burden, you know?
Yeah. I mean, when my wife's brother got married on that cruise, at first we kind of felt the same way, where we were like, that's a fuck ton of money to attend a wedding. But, you know, then we finally came around to the positives of it. And we actually had a really good time for the money. But, I mean, that's, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But it's obnoxious. I understand your point of view on that too. But speaking of burnout, I'm fucking tired, man. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. We still have a specialist episode coming your way. They just had some scheduling conflicts. They're in a very, very busy career field and got some stuff going on. So as soon as we can circle back around to that one, we'll get that specialist episode rolling for you guys. And I think Joe's got a couple people lined up behind him. So hopefully we got a few more specialist episodes headed your guys' way.
You guys
have something?
You guys want to roll? You guys want to roll out on this poem that ChatGPT gave me for the end of the episode?
I don't know. Do we?
Probably not. But it's not bad.
Well, dude,
okay.
YOLO.
So after we do the poem, that's it. There's no talking. We're just gonna roll out with like the silent pause.
Okay.
All right. Maybe fatherhood was never meant to be perfect. Maybe it's found in the smaller things, the moments we almost overlook while they quietly become memories. A ride home at sunset, a laugh from the next room, the sound of our voice calling them in before dark. Maybe all we're really trying to do is leave behind a feeling. The same kids we carry from our own childhoods. Warm, imperfect, fading softly at the edges, but unforgettable all the same. And maybe if we can be present enough, love loudly enough, and stay just long enough in those ordinary moments, our kids will one day remember us the way we remember the best parts of growing up. See you. Like and subscribe.